But I will say, as this is supposed to be like some advice and shit as well, like if there's something that you want, you really, really just need to not be scared, and you need to just take it. Just take what you want when it comes to your life and your career and setting yourself up, because like all of a sudden you go, it's the 15th of October 2025 and I'm nearly 39 years old. Where the f did all that time go? Oh. Caramel Moccona instant coffee. The thing I like about it is it doesn't make me feel like I want to die. I have a lot of broken things in my guts, and I absolutely love real coffee, real Melbourne proper coffee, or even coffee made at mum's place on her machine. But the problem with it, even with lactose-free milk, is the fact that it makes me feel like I'm gonna die. So that's a shame. So I can drink, you know, instant Moccona coffee, caramel flavored, and feel like I'm actually awake. So, you know, we enjoy that. But anyway, that's whatever. Last video was just a rambling mess. I can't guarantee that this isn't going to be the same. I don't really, not too fussed what it ends up being, to be honest. But today I'm here to introduce myself and tell you like who I am and where I came from, as this video is for my children to know who and what I am as a person and have been. Here we go. We'll give you I'll give you a rundown on my life up until now, I guess. So for those of you that don't know me, classic speech starter, I am Matt Styles, and I am the father of two beautiful children, and I want them to know who I am if I all of a sudden get hit by a bus and die. So I grew up in Sunbury, my eyes being a turd. I grew up in Sunbury my whole life, didn't move out of Sunbury until I moved to Melton a year after Riley was born. Me and dates and remembering years are not friends, so take it all with a grain of salt and don't take my word for any years or dates or anything like that. My wife will attest to that, as will many people. It's really not my thing. But so, and Riley was 2018, so it was like, yeah, somewhere, I think the house was finished in 2019 and we sort of moved in then. But up until then I was in Sunbury and my family was in Sunbury, and that was just where we were and what we did and all that kind of thing. This is very, very rambly. I am tired. I need coffee and I'm gonna drink it. I don't know how long this video is going to record for, so I probably need to hurry it up a little bit because we're shooting on Apple Log at the moment to see if it looks any nicer. I'm trying to put a little bit more effort into this one. However, I grew up in Sunbury. I went to school in Keilor. I was a person that loved school. I had a lot of friends at school and I used to enjoy going there, and for every day of my life I've always enjoyed learning. School was fun for me. I loved going to school. I loved hanging out with my friends. Take me back, man. No responsibilities, no bills, going to hang out with your mates all day and learn some stuff. I was telling Riley the other day, she was asking about me in school and subjects, because I was asking her what her favorite subject subjects were. When I was at school, I absolutely loved graphic design. Graphic design definitely was, or graphics was definitely with Mr. Cherry, was my favorite subject at school by far. I learned how to use a Mac computer like in grade 7, and I've always wanted to learn how to do drawing with the textures and make things look metallic and shiny and things like that, with like whiteout highlights and things like that, product packaging, and I probably still got my sketchbook somewhere that's got half that stuff. Designing a home theater system and an advertisement for it. Computer drawing, that has always been me and who I am. I still love that stuff, and I would love to do more drawing if I could. It would be fantastic, but you know, we want to make YouTube videos, we want to work, we want to play some video games, we want to love our wife how we're supposed to, and our kids how we're supposed to. You know, life literally never ends. I've got to clean my car every now and then, so you know, you don't have time to do all the things that you wish you could, and we'll just wait for retirement, I guess, you know, to do more of that stuff. But other than that, woodwork, I've always been a very hands-on person. I loved woodwork. I was okay at it, like back in the day at school. Like the school forced us to enter things into competitions and stuff like that. And I had some things in the Royal Melbourne Show. They used to have like a furniture, like awards thing there, and for 2 years I won 2 different awards for a table and a box I think I made, so that was pretty cool. But I always loved woodwork, so I knew when I left school that I was finishing my VCE. I wanted to do that for NAN, and do it as good as I could, and that was always somebody that I've been to, if I'm going to do something, I'll do it properly. So I didn't half-ass my school, and I think I got like 75 or 78 as an enter score, which obviously isn't amazing, but it's not crap either. But woodwork was cool, and then so I knew going through high school that I was going to do woodwork in some manner once I left school. I wasn't going to uni. I hated the idea of uni. I did essays in English about how much I hated uni and how silly I thought it was, but I was always going to do woodwork. And then Gary's friend Damien put me on for work experience when I was like 18 or whatever, and I earned $250 cash a week doing that, finishing off building $1 million mansions. And I really wanted to go into working with him, and he said when I left school that I didn't have enough time, he didn't have enough jobs on at the moment to put on another apprentice. So I went and did a pre-apprenticeship in carpentry for 6 months with Westy and Barlow from school, and that was a lot of fun, and we met some weird crazy dudes doing that and learned some stuff. God, that Batman TAFE was so shittily organized, and what we did there, and the qualification that we got, which was like a year's worth of an apprenticeship and of time, and so 6 months of school, was ridiculous. We should have built things, then we didn't build them, and it was just insane. So then I finished that, and then Damien still didn't have any work for me. Thankfully my pa knew a dude that lived in Macedon, and he built furniture for really high-end furniture and kitchens, mostly shaker style, full timber stuff, and that not a lot of people were doing, like $200,000 kitchens in mansions in whatchamacallit, what's the in the city, coffee, Hawthorne. The guy that owned, one of the brothers that owned Globe Shoe Company's house, and he had a $200,000 kitchen plus more. Like, insane. His kid carved his name in the bonnet of his Porsche and stuff like that. Dude was loaded. So yeah, I did a year and a half or 2 years of that, I think, and that was a great place to work. Trev was amazing. And yeah, Trev, oh my god, I love that man. It sucks how you lose people along the way, and you spent so much time together and really enjoyed each other's company, and then they just sort of disappear into the abyss. Trev was a great, just typical Aussie dude, and the best tradesman besides Gary Poppy that I've ever met in my life. Nobody would work like that bloke. He was far out, insane. I wish I was 1/10 of the skill that he had. But then Tam was terrible, obviously, at advertising and stuff, and the market wasn't huge for that stuff back then. Maybe now it probably wouldn't be too bad because there's so many rich people driving around. Then that business shut down, and I went and worked at Westside Joinery in Sunshine. Steve and his brother something, who cares, he was shit bloke. Steve Bullman was an amazing bloke, and I was a shit apprentice. I hated doing the windows and all that kind of stuff, and it was a good place to work. I just wasn't a fan of doing the shit. So I eventually bought a new VYS pack Commodore and wanted to pay it off a bit quicker, so I went and did pizza deliveries. And from pizza deliveries, I was working at Sapore Nostro in Sunbury, and that place was an amazing place. The Victor Magotto, the Magotto family, oh my god, full-blown Italians, just amazing people, like just pure good people that knew how to run a business. Delivering pizzas there, went, this is cool, I could be a chef, I like this pizza place. Obviously full Italian restaurant in Sunbury, pretty chill, pretty laid back, family sort of feel, all that kind of stuff, nothing fancy. Food was amazing. Learned how to cook there, did a year and a half of a chef's apprenticeship, and said, I don't want to work weekends until 11 p.m. at night and not be home for dinner. What kind of, family life is that going to be being a chef? That's going to suck. And I'm sick of cooking for people that don't appreciate it. Yeah, I work permanent night shift now, and I'm never home at night. So, yeah, that was pointless. But cooking was very hot in that kitchen, and just, it didn't feel super rewarding. And my whole life I have really struggled. I've always wanted to be someone. I've always wanted to find a job that, if you find a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life, or do your hobby job or whatever. I've always been searching for that, and then in the end I just gave up and ended up where I am now, because fucking money, but after there I went no, and then I actually wanted to get in the police force. And then look, I'm going to be real, because the whole idea is that I'm dead and I don't need to admit it while I'm alive. People might end up seeing it that I know, but I just bitched out, really. I was just like, I had needed glasses and stuff and wasn't sure about all that kind of thing, and I had to move to the other side of town and all that kind of thing, and it just, I don't know, you think about having to go to like accidents where people are dead, go to domestics and deal with people like trying to kill each other. I think about my junkie uncle and about the fights that he had with his junkie missus, and I was just like, I don't really need to be amongst that shit. I liked the idea of like, serving the people and working for the government, and like just being a police officer and being a good dude. I've always just wanted to be a good dude. But and even now I think about it, like, I thought recently about maybe going and trying it, but yeah, I don't know, there's a million reasons why not. So I ended up not being a copper, and that was my excuse for leaving doing the chef's apprenticeship. And I don't remember what I did in the interim, but Sterl's got his drift car, and I found him through Anthony, and also Richo, who's my best mate. And we went to drift events, and I bought a point and shoot camera because, at that time, me and my current girlfriend used to go on driving, and I wanted to take photos and stuff. So this thing did video, and then we went to drift events, and I started like videoing on this little camera. And then mum had a Mac, and I found that iMovie or whatever edited videos, and I started editing videos and putting text in and thinking I was hilarious, and oh man, I loved it. So I went, you know what, let's you know, I like this stuff, and we sort of started traveling around, going interstate, and I was like, you know, I like taking photos, I like doing videos, this is great. And I went, checked out some unis and stuff, and then went, well, I'm going to go do a film and television, bachelor in creative arts, film and television. Ended up at JMC Academy. You know, lived in all those people's pockets that I was in class with for a long time, and then, yeah, they just vanished into the abyss as well. You know, but I don't know. I loved doing video, and to this day, if I could have made enough money and was more of a man and less of a fucking scared little bitch and started my own film videography company like Jess did, I, you know, would probably be doing it now. But I, again, bitched out of that and, you know, didn't do it, which I should have. I've done a lot with video. I've been, you know, we went to Jakarta, we went to New Zealand, I went interstate. I don't even know how many times I went interstate. How long is this video? 15 minutes. Wow, I can ramble on about myself and my shit. Wow, I'm probably going to have to wrap this up. But I'm like a quarter of the way through. Maybe we'll have to do this separate. I don't know. I'm eventually going to run out of space on my iPhone, so then I won't be able to record anymore. Interstate multiple times, loved every second of it, loved all the people I met, loved all the people I worked with. Andrew Hawkins gave me so many cool opportunities. He liked the way I work, he liked the way that I filmed, he liked that he could pay me next to nothing. And I stayed at his house and with his family, and we went overseas, and, you know, he bought me smokes and drinks, and God, we just, yeah, a lot of people did not like that man, and I didn't necessarily love certain things about him, but he did right by me a lot, and he gave me some really good experience, and I definitely really appreciate that experience, and that was a really good part of my life. I wish that I wasn't working night shift and doing what I'm doing, and that I was doing videos, because I did find the thing that I absolutely truly love. And I just didn't end up, like, for a lack of better terminology, being man enough to just grasp what I wanted and just grabbing it by the balls and doing it. You know, I really should have just done it, but, you know, we're here now. We have this house, we have these cars, we have this room, these, you know, we have these kids, we have everything that we have because of where I work now and what I do. I do not regret, you know, where I am now, but I will say, as this is supposed to be like some advice and shit as well, like, if there's something that you want, you really, really just need to not be scared, and you need to just take it. Like, make that decision, make that move, just do it. Don't worry too much about the consequences of, like, what's going to happen and with A and B and here and there. Like, don't worry about that shit. Like, we're 17 minutes into this video and I'm getting to the thick of it now. Wow, bro. But, you know, just take what you want when it comes to your life and your career and setting yourself up, because, like, all of a sudden you go, it's the 15th of October 2025 and I'm nearly 39 years old. Where the fuck did all that time go? You know, like, it's just insane. Things slip through your fingers so easy. Do not let that happen to the things that you really want. It is completely up to you, and no one can do anything about it except for you. You're the one that takes it. No one can take it for you. You have to pick it up. You have to take it, and then you have to run. You have to run for your life with it. And that's the thing. If there's anything that I regret not I regret not doing that. I did that with my wife. I grabbed her and I took her and I ran with her, and I'm still running with her. And that's the best fucking decision I ever made in my life. But, you know, it doesn't have to be a career. It can be a partner, a person, somebody that you're interested in, whatever. You know what I mean? A friend. It can be whatever. I don't even know. But if there's something that you want, you have to be the one that takes it. So make sure that that's what you do. I am going to stop talking and drink coffee and go and pick up my daughter from school, because I love her and I love standing at that gate and finding her through the sea of kids, and then her looking at me and smiling, and then me smiling back at her. Literally best part of my day. Take her bag off her back, pick her up, walk out of the school, kiss her on the forehead like 20 times. I'm not going to be able to do that soon enough, so I'm doing it now. End of. Yeah. I'm going to go do that. Bye.